One of the things we always talk about is the advertised FPS on the boxes of air rifles, air pistols, so forth and so on, and whether or not they're telling the truth. Well, today we're going to do something a little different. What is going on, everyone? Riddict here, and welcome to Off the Shelf Airguns. Today, what we're going to be doing is taking various weights of pellets, and we're going to see if they're telling the truth about the weight of the pellets. Now, I have a selection of 22 caliber and a selection of .177. We have 4 different 22 calibers. We have 5 different .177 caliber. Now, the brand variety isn't very wide, but the weight variety is. So we're going to see where we're at with this. I got one of my small reloading skills here. Let's fire that up. Get that ready. All right, so without any further ado, we'll start out with the .177 caliber. Here we have the Crosman Premier pointed pellets. And right on the carton it says 7.4 grain. Now we are outside, so the wind blowing might finagle things here a little bit, but we should be okay. 7.42, that's, you know, right there. 7.42. Now let's move on to, let's do the Gammo Tomahawks. They claim 7.56 grain. They claim 7.56 grain. It's looking more like 7.3. 7.30 grain. But they claim 7.56. Still, it's not far enough off for me to be worried about it. Let's try now. We're going to try the TS10s, the Gammo TS10s. They claim 10.40, yeah, 10.49 grain. Let's see what the Gammo TS10s are. 10.66. 10.66 grain on that. So a little bit heavier than what they say, but not by much. Again, nothing for me to get all worried about. Let's try one that's a little heavy for a .177. We're going to do the old Crosman Premier Piranhas. They claim 10.5 grain. They claim 10.5 grain. Oh. Now that's really close. That's almost right on the money. There we go. 10.5 grain. It's right there. It's right there, folks. Can't complain about that one. And last but not least, we have the Gammo Blue Flame, some alloy, which they claim 5.1 grain. 5.1 grain. Let's see what happens. Wind is picking up a little bit, it's screwing around with it there. Get on there. It's about 5.3. So slightly heavier than they say, just by a very smidge. 5.1 grain, it's looking like 5.3. Nothing to get upset over. Now let's move on to the 22s. Now what's funny here is I have some Daisy 22s. They don't tell you what the weight is, so we're just going to find out. That's why I'm out here. But we're going to start out with the Ruger Super Points. These are Umarex pellets at the end of the day. And they claim 17 grains. Just straight up 17 grains. That's what they claim. Let's see what we get. How about that? Pretty much right on the money. 17 grain. Just a slight little smidge over it. But it's right there. Definitely can't complain about that. Now we're going to do the RWS Hobby. They claim 11.9 grain. 11.9 grain for the RWS Hobby. So let's see what we get. Yeah. 11.9 grain. Right on the money with the RWS Hobby. Hey, all we need. That's all we ask for at the end of the day. Now we got the Crosman domed at 13.7 grain. That's what they claim. 13.7 grain, and some past experience checking these out. If you ask me, they're pretty off, but we'll see. 12.7. They're a whole grain off. It says 13.7 grain. Clearly, it's 12.7. Well, almost 12.7. Yeah, I mean, they claim 13.7. Let's check another one just to be sure. Oh, that one's slightly, let me get that in the center better. There we go. All right, well, that one's a little bit heavier. 13.12. Kind of a little all over the place there for a second. 13.1, that's what we'll call it. That's inconsistent by like a grain, which could be make or break what you're doing. That's straight up 13. Just tells me that these Crosman domed are really weird and inconsistent, which is kind of strange considering a lot of people like these Crosman domed for their accuracy and things like this. But then when you go weighing them, you realize that the weights amongst 10 of these varies greatly from one to the other. So if you start getting flighty ones or something, maybe this is just a bad tin. I have no idea. These are brand new for the most part. So, you know, I don't know. But that's pretty inconsistent. Watch out for that. Now, last but not least, the Daisy 22s. They don't claim a weight, but we're going to see what they're packing. Why not? Looks to be about 15.3, 15.4, 15.4 grain for the Daisy 22s. Super points. These are the pointed, not super point, just Daisy pointed 22. That was a fun little experiment. These Crosman domes were really the only problem. Everything else was pretty much on the money. You know, give or take a couple little numbers, but nothing to get, you know, upset over. All pretty much right where they need to be. Can't complain at all. It's not going to be perfect on every one, but it's right where it needs to be, and that's all that matters. The only one, you know, they all did good. They all kind of fell right into where they should be, except for these Crosman domed 22s. Like I said, it could just be this tin. I don't know, but quite the variation in weights as we pick one out and weigh it. So very strange. If that's the case with all of them, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. We may come back and do this again down the road whenever I accumulate maybe some other brands, off brands, wild brands, crazy brands, I don't know. We'll accumulate some other various brands or lesser known brands, whatever, and we may come back and do this and see where those are at. But for the main brand names, which is pretty much what we got here, obviously I'm guessing if we were looking at some JSBs or something, we'd have a lot more consistency per pellet, or even like right on the money, who knows. Those are obviously much more expensive. I don't have any of those, but we can always come back and do those. Get some of those. We can always come back and do those and see what happens. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. With that said, catch you all down the road. Do me a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so that you're notified anytime I upload new videos. If you would like to support further, you can also leave a super thanks on the videos to donate to the channel. You can do this on mobile or desktop. Or you can join the channel membership for $5 a month. With the channel membership, you get exclusive perks to your membership, such as member badge next to your name, custom emojis, early access to all new videos, exclusive members-only content, and more. Or you can join the Patreon, also $5 a month. You also get early access and exclusive content, and more. Any support is greatly appreciated, and I thank you very much.